Take one. Action.
Hi guys, welcome to episode, is it 9?
No, that is a good question. I don't remember.
Episode
Something.
Yeah.
At a certain point, we're just gonna forget. And
Yeah. But we have my
next special guest on the
friend, my friend August.
show. Yeah.
Hi.
Welcome to the
Thank
show.
you
Welcome
guys
to the
for
podcast.
having me.
Yeah,
Thanks for coming.
anytime.
Thanks for driving all the way here.
Yeah, it was
Appreciate
quite the commute.
No
Yeah.
worries. The hour and 15 was worth it.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah?
It's been a nice day. It's sunny.
Yeah.
Good walking weather. So
Yeah.
how
Yeah,
have
we were
you
talking.
guys been?
It's gorgeous.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a good day. You?
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I bought
full.
new sunglasses.
Oh, that's awesome.
I don't know why I keep saying that, but
No, it's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. Those ones over there?
yeah, those ones
That's
right
cool.
there.
They're nice.
Mm-hmm.
Staple item for the summer.
Yeah, you're ready.
Literally, right?
You're ready. You're ready
Curate
for
all
summer.
the outfits after it.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like this hat. Instead of having this hat all the time, it's gonna be those sunglasses.
Okay, we're ready.
Yeah.
Can you give us kind of like an intro kind of about, what departments you've worked in, how long you've been in the industry, maybe a little bit about yourself for those who don't know you?
Yeah. My name's August Alves. I've been in the industry, I would say, heavier over the last year, but about 2 years kind of working my way in. I started off just PA. I've done set deck. I did dabble in sound, and I will say it's not my strong suit.
I forgive you.
Yeah.
I tried it too.
It didn't go too good, I will say that, but it was an experience. And then I got into writing a little bit, and then decided to write, produce, and direct my first short film, Even After Life. So
That's
that was a
awesome.
great experience. Very much a chaotic person when it comes to work. So things were very much all over the place and cluttered, but just get things done the way you can, right?
Yeah.
And circling back, so you said set deck, PA, dabbled in sound, but how did those come about? How did you enter the film industry? You know what I mean?
So I had the chance to meet a really, really wonderful director who's been in the industry for, I don't know, I would guess maybe 20, 30 years.
Wow.
So I was very grateful when I gave her a message and I said, I'm ready to get into this. Like give me a shot whenever you have something I can come on to. And she said, give me a couple days, I'll figure something out. So got a message 2 or 3 days later, and she's like, listen, it's unpaid. It's in Toronto. If you can get here and get a place to stay, because I can't put you up, you're more than welcome to come be on this set. And I said, yeah, no worries. I'll have it done by next week, and I'll be there. I'll meet you there. Just give me the address.
Wow.
So got put on the call sheet, got there, and it was a baseline, a kids' sex ed show.
Okay.
Of just teaching many different things that they don't usually teach in school and allowing them to understand what they're about to get into as, they're coming into teenagehood and just be prepared for the life they're about to start living kind of thing.
Oh, wow.
So it was a ride because it happened very quickly. I went on a soul search journey to Maine. So that was my first solo trip, first time to the States, got back, and I was like, yeah, I'm ready to hop in this. And within a week and a half, I was in it. So
Cool.
It was definitely a neat, fast-paced experience.
And what was your role on it?
I was a PA.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
And why Maine?
Stephen King. Yeah.
I was thinking it, but I wasn't quite sure.
Yeah, his house is there. I think it's being sold right now, actually. But his house was there, and I kind of just went based on that. And it just seemed like such a neat place. It's very small, but growing. And I kind of wanted to get there before it was massive and just get the feel of, why did he write like this? Why was this the way he was thinking? And you can see it right on you when you hop on the highway, when you pass the border. It's all those big semi trucks that almost blow you off the road when they drive by. Just the whole experience is great.
Right. Is it like as gloomy and kind of like,
It is.
I don't know how to explain it. I've heard him talk about growing up in Maine.
Yeah.
It's kind of gray and
It was, yeah.
dark.
It was September, so
Yeah.
it was slightly raining the entire time, all clouds, but nice weather. You could wear a t-shirt, just very rainy.
okay. Interesting.
Yeah, it made all the trees when you're driving through a deep dark green, and it just made it almost like romantic in a way, a gloomy romance kind of feel, which was nice.
Cool.
It's beautiful there.
Yeah.
Have you been?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Nice.
when I was 12.
Cool.
Yeah. Rented a cottage.
I was gonna say you're a big like horror fan.
Yeah.
am.
Yeah.
Is
Talk
Stephen
about
King
that.
your favorite like storyteller?
I would say so.
Yeah.
For the fact that he's very simplistic and he takes things from your everyday life and knows how to make you scared of them. So you can do a car, a dog, cell phones in this movie I just watched. And it's just neat. Like there's things that you don't think of. But when you're growing up, that's kind of the thought of what's under my bed. And it's the simplest thing, but it can scare you so much.
Yeah.
And turning that into growing fear in adults as well. Just a neat concept to be able to do that and twist something so easily.
Yeah. Yeah. As soon as you said that, I don't want to go off tangent too much, but I remember I read a short story that he made, and it was about a conveyor belt that comes to life and like runs around eating people.
I don't know if I've read that
You haven't read that one?
No.
I'll see if I can find it and I'll send you the name. It's probably online.
Yeah. They did one about cell phones, and I hadn't
Okay.
seen the film or read it or anything, and I watched it not long ago, and it was pretty good. It was like just your phones, there was a signal coming through, and if you were on your phone or picked up your phone, it was like triggering you, and you were turning into this like almost cellular zombie kind of thing. It was,
okay.
yeah, and people were just attacking
Weird.
each other. So it was a new like concept to a zombie film, I guess.
Yeah.
How I seen it.
Very modern, I guess,
Yeah.
because of the cell phones.
Yeah, right?
So do you take a lot of influence from him into your own work, do you think?
I would say maybe. I wouldn't say a lot, but maybe in the way of everything can be scary. So I grew up fearful of a lot of things. So I think in the future, film-wise, I'll maybe follow a similar concept of things that are, an everyday struggle becoming a really big fear, and just being scared of anything, right? That's just a nice way to go, because then the limits are endless, right? You can make anything scary, which is nice.
Have you written horror before?
I haven't, no.
Okay.
Do you want to?
I do want to. I'm a little nervous because I like the genre so much. I don't really want to botch it, if I'm being honest. It's one of those that when I get more experience, I'll probably get into it, but it's just something very close to my heart, I guess. So I just don't, it's something I want to do right with, the right budget, right people, right story, and right timing. So it's definitely something that'll wait a little bit longer.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I understand what you mean.
Yeah. I was going to ask, what does influence you when it comes to writing, and what's your writing process like?
So I've always been really and I hope this doesn't sound weird, but I've always been really into people,
Okay.
right? Like you can look at the world, society, whatever, just even Ottawa. You can look at it as a whole and be like, okay, this is the vibe. But when you really narrow down into specific people's lives, you get the feel of this is personable. And I like to learn more about people. I like conversations with any kind of person you could probably think of, because it sparks a lot of ideas. And I just like how different everyone is and all the stories that they have. And from that, like, I like to write about what could be a real life for someone, because that, everyday struggles can take over anything that you do in the future. It can kind of change the way you see your past depending on what's going on. And those are things that I really like to dive into, is just, you know, the lives of people that are here and what is going on and the struggles that they have. I really like that kind of, because a lot of people, I think, live a darker life than they lead people to believe.
Yeah.
And I like those things. Like they're raw, they're usually pretty gritty, and they're just very personable, and just really getting to tell a story well of like, this was important, this needs to be shared kind of thing.
Is there anywhere that deep interest stems from, or kind of like when you were growing up and stuff like that?
Yeah, like your grandma. Or...
I think maybe, so I was never a popular kid. Never. I didn't ever really have friend groups or anything like that. So I spent a lot of time on my own watching movies. And I think one thing that I noticed was I was like, wow, I think I'm into other people's stories because no one's into mine, in a way. Like, it was never, hey, where did you come from? Or, hey, why did this happen? Why do you think like this? It was just more of like, oh, fuck, she thinks like that. I don't care. And that was it. So I'm like, you know what? If no one wants to listen to me, that's fine. But I want to listen to all of you, because there's tons of things that I can pull for ideas, and I genuinely care. So I think that's the main reason I like to dig into people's lives, is I feel everyone has an interesting story and is worth hearing out of what they have to say and what they've been through and what they want and desire. And, you know, they deserve it to be shown in one way or another. And you don't, I think, realize when you're growing up, if you're not the kid that only wants to sit in front of a screen, that that's what they're connecting to, right? Like, that's who they're seeing themselves in, because they have no one around them that they can look up to or look to for advice. So these films are teaching people that they're not alone, and it's hard for some people to see that.
Yeah. So with your films and your stories, is that what you're hoping to achieve as well? Or like if someone watches something that you've made, what are you hoping that they take away from?
Mainly, I think that they're not the only ones in that position or with that thinking, that there are other people out there that are, you know, trying to get the same things, or scared of the same things, or, you know, grew up with the same things, that they're not alone, even if it is a rare occurrence of, you know, say, how they grew up. Even if it's not the most common thing, they aren't the only ones, and there is someone on screen, because it's a lot harder when you go out, if you're in a neighborhood of, say, 500 people, to run into an even one or two other people that grew up like that. But if it's on a screen and it can be streamed anywhere and anyone can see it, it's gonna reach those people, right? So you just to make them feel like, oh wow, someone gets it, even if it's not a personal connection. Just, oh well, I'm not weird, I'm not abnormal, I'm just a person going through something that maybe not a lot of other people do.
Yeah. Would you say it's very a universal experience, being like, I don't want to get super meta, but like a human being, you know what I mean? Because have you ever had a piece of, it doesn't have to be a movie, maybe it's like a song, or even like, I don't know, a picture or a painting that, I think we mentioned this with Jen, but it's almost exactly what you're going through, or something that happened to you that just aligns perfectly. Mm-hmm. Do you have anything like that? Or
like film wise?
Yeah, film, or
film, books,
TV.
Art, photography.
There's probably a few that I'm blanking on at the moment that I grew up with. I don't know. Maybe we'll keep talking and I'll think of one coming up. Yeah, right on the spot. You're kind of like, oh shit, what were the movies I was thinking of?
Yeah, no, it's fair. It's just weird seeing you watch a movie and you're like, hey, this is like my experience. You know, people understand it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I agree. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I think a lot of people don't talk about a lot of things, right? Mm-hmm. So it's easy to say, oh, no one feels like this. Well, they do. They just don't say anything. We're not like as open as humans like to say we are. We're really not.
Right.
Yeah.
So all the little thoughts that we have in our head that we think are so stupid that we just don't ever mention, most other people are thinking about it too, and everyone's too scared to ask about it. And it's like, if we just did, what's the harm? If someone thinks you're weird, you're weird. Like, what's the difference, right?
Who cares? The world keeps spinning.
Exactly. Like, it's the most minuscule thing in the world if one person thinks you're odd.
Do you have, like, if you have trouble breaking that block and just creating or just saying what's on your mind, how do you push past it? Do you have anything?
I think it's different for each person. I think it depends on, you know, what you think about yourself, how you're trying to make yourself be seen and all that. Like, that can kind of dictate what makes you comfortable with being able to bring something like that out, especially if it's a more personal thing. You kind of have to figure out your own way to go through. The way that I did it, I kind of was just like, you know what? If I'm going to be weird in a handful of moments in one day, I might as well be weird the whole day. And it just won't be abnormal when I say these things. So I'm just going to be way out there, and no one's going to look at me like I'm crazy because they just think I am all the time. So that was kind of how I did it. And I actually gained a lot of confidence from it of, well, there's way less times now that I say something and then I kind of sink in because I'm like, oh my God, the look they just gave me, they're thinking this, they're thinking that. I don't even care anymore. I'm just like, yeah, this is what it is. And you've heard me say things like this 10 times already today, so you're not even batting an eye. So I think it depends on the person, you know?
Yeah. Do you find that by doing that, you also connect with other people doing the same thing? Are you able to tell when someone is just being authentically themselves?
I am.
Do you know what I mean?
I am, yeah. And that was a neat thing that kind of came with it is I can see sometimes in conversation or, you know, just out in public, some people are just feeding into this fake persona of people that are, and I can just see it right there. I'm like, you're lying. Like I know that this is something you're putting on right now. And I'm thinking about the other person, like, how are you not seeing this? Like, it's so obvious right now, right? They're not being who they are. Why is this happening? And it frustrates me. So I try not to put myself around people that can't be themselves, like unapologetically. You should be able to just be who you are and say what you feel, and that's it, right? Like, you know, there's time and place for certain things, but realistically, just be yourself.
I love that.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, no, that was a great answer. Do you have anything, Rachel?
Not really, other than, are you a people watcher?
I am.
Okay, I am too. I could just watch people for hours, not in a creepy way, just observing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
just people interacting on a bench.
People are odd, and I love it. I love how weird people are, especially when they think no one's watching on a public street. And it's like, I seen that.
I was there.
That was great.
Even today in the parking lot, like watching the guys making those noises, I'm like intrigued.
Yeah.
Like I got lost almost, you know, like into watching the interactions, you know, so.
And you start questioning, right? Like that's another thing, watching people, you're like, oh, what are they talking about? Where are they going? What are they doing?
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder, you know, are they like this all the time? Who are they when they leave this person? There's so many questions that like when you follow someone through their life, you get so many different sides, right? One person isn't always happy or always angry or sad. You're all the things. It just depends on what time you see them in a day.
Yeah,
right?
that's so true.
Yeah.
I remember I was at the library earlier just doing some work, and I would look up and I would just not stare at someone, but I would just watch somebody who was just in their own world doing their own thing.
Yeah.
You know, that I feel like that, and if you agree, that is when they're most authentically themselves.
Yeah.
You know?
You're in your own
if I went to talk to them, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. If I had gone up and said something, I don't know where's the room. I feel like a switch happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But before I had said anything, it's two different people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a mask, right?
Yeah,
that
it
you
is.
put on when you walk out into the world because you don't feel, and a lot of people are made to feel that way. It's not that they just naturally feel that way. It's that you're beat down so many times growing up. Doesn't matter who it is, whether it's a parent or a sibling or people at school, a teacher. You're always like, oh, you're not allowed to do that. Don't do that. Why do you look like that? That's not right for this situation. So like, okay, now you're mimicking people, right? And like, that's a big thing with certain things like autism, you mask.
Yeah.
But with anybody, everyone masks. It depends. It's just the degree that you have to do it to, because everyone, whether they want to admit it or not, wants to fit in and wants to have people around. Like, humans are social beings, right? We can be by ourselves, but at some point we really need something there.
Yeah.
That's true.
I feel like you try to, going back to what you said, you, like way back, you mentioned you take bits and pieces from other people. I feel like it's the same thing with the mask. You try to create this ideal person. But at the end of the day, there is no ideal, perfect person. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a combination too, and I think that was something that helped me. Was through my life, there were certain people that I met where I was like, okay, I like that you do that. Like, I like this aspect. I'm going to take that and put it in my own way. And when situations that make me feel the way I can see you're feeling right now, that's what I'm going to pull out. So if I was in a situation where I had to be super, super sweet, I'd probably pull out what I learned from Rachel, right?
Aw,
So
thank you.
yeah, just certain things like that. Like,
Yeah.
you see someone on TV and you're like, oh, that guy is cool. I want to be like that guy, but not all the time, just certain times.
Yeah.
So let's pull that guy out when I need to, right? But in my own version, that's how everyone is. You're just a culmination of different personalities you've met through your life by the time you're 80.
Yeah.
And then you just don't give a fuck. You just go, right?
Then you
And then
just-
you're just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm senile, so I'm good.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah. Yeah, same with movies too. Like, you see a fake person that's been written by someone else on the screen, and you're like, I want to be like that guy.
Yeah.
Like a lot of kids with superheroes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Every kid wants to be Spider-Man or something like that.
Exactly.
Do you have any like fake idols you kind of look up to?
Yeah, any,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, characters, fictional.
And
not as
why?
well.
Like,
Yeah.
like for example, I must say, I can't think of anyone. That's embarrassing.
No, it's not. It's just when you're put on the spot, right?
Yeah, 'cause
Don't
I
worry,
said
I can't think of
Spider-
any either.
Yeah, I guess it changes over time.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? No, I got one. Prince Zuko from Avatar,
Okay.
The Last Airbender. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
I have not.
I've not.
Okay, he just has this crazy like redemption arc. He's like this prince, but his dad hates him, and then he does all this stuff. But his, you take things from that. Yeah. Do you have anyone?
There's so many. I can't remember his name in the film. Good Will Hunting, Matt Damon's character. I thought he was pretty neat. He was really smart and reserved, and then he ends up with this guidance counselor that's teaching him, like, you can open up, this is okay, da da da. He falls in love and all these different things, and I was like, oh, like, it took a while, and he was very reserved, but then he was able to open himself up and use what he had to his own advantage.
Right.
I thought that was a good one. I'd like to say like Katniss Everdeen or something from Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Just be like, yeah, I'm gonna buck over the Capitol and let's just like take this over, right?
Go against the government.
Yeah, right? Like
Yeah.
something neat like that. So there's quite a few. I wouldn't say I don't think any crazy major ones. Like, I'm into a lot of comforting movies too. So House Bunny.
I've not.
House
Happy
Bunny.
Madison. No.
No, I haven't.
I can't remember her name. She's the girl from like Scary Movie and that. She plays a really good ditzy character.
Oh, which character in
She's a
Scary
playmate.
Movie? Is
She played Sydney.
Oh, she's Sydney.
Yeah,
Okay,
or
yeah.
Cindy in Scary Movie, I guess.
Got it. Okay.
And she's just this like bubbly playmate, and they all take it. This one girl takes advantage of her, gets her out of the house, and she's got to go live with like these university kids. and they're all losers and whatever, they want them off campus, and she's just like teaching them how to feel good about herself. And they all try to make her feel bad, and she's like, I don't care, like I'm ditzy, but I know what I'm doing, and I might not be politically correct all the time, but I care for people and I do the best that I can. So just like, I guess, sweet stories like that. It's a comedy style, but just the heart to it is hard to let go of, I think.
Yeah.
Just keep going. Doesn't matter how anyone looks at you or how you are perceived. It's just, you are who you are, right?
Yeah. Do you think it's important to know, to just know who you are, you know? And a lot of times some people don't know how to answer that question because you're so many different things. But kind of at your core, I guess.
So I think it's nice to know who you are in the moment. Like, as people, we're ever changing. Even from today to tomorrow, you could be slightly different and you wouldn't notice it yet. Because we tend not to notice when we're different until it's completely flipped. We don't ever see the process building, or at least
that's really
sit
true.
there and comprehend it. Like, we're gonna be so many different people, right? Like, I'm a different person. I was a different person at 20 than I was when I was 15. At 23 than 20, and now I'm gonna be 2 years from 30, and I'm like, what the fuck? Who am I gonna be? Like, and even now from 25, I'm like, holy shit! Like, I would not be doing any of this at all if I was 25 right now, and in the mindset that I was in. And you would think that it's like 10 or 15 years of growing, but it's just such a small amount of time that things can change. And then by 30, 32, you're a whole new person again. And it's just like, you can't fight the waves. You kind of got to let them move through you. Life is like a bunch of waves, right? If you fight against it, you're just going to keep getting knocked back. But if you just let them move through you, you're over every wave, the water looks different. And like, you got to be ready for it, but expect that things you never knew would happen are going to happen. So it's just let it. Right? Don't fight it.
Yeah. Go with the flow.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
You're always going to be a different person. Just depends on when you actually take a deep look at yourself.
Yeah. It's like when you look back at pictures of yourself from 10 years ago, like you were saying earlier, and you are that person still, but you don't behave in the same way anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that.
I like it.
You can think of like a flower, like within 2 months, sometimes less. It starts off as just a little green thing, and then it's got some leaves, and now there's a bud, and now it's this big thing, but then it's falling apart. Like, you're always different. And it's such a short amount of time that you change in your stages that it's really nice to pay attention, right? And maybe that sounds like an ego thing, but you really have to pay attention to yourself because you're never going to be who you are right now again. And you have to appreciate it, right? Like, whether you hate it or not, you're not going to be it again. So you might as well take advantage of it and really appreciate it and love it for that moment. Yeah. And then love the next when it comes.
Absolutely. You're very philosophical.
That was my next question of how your philosophies inspire your day. I said it this time, guys. How your philosophies inspire your day-to-day life in writing and film, like creating films.
I'm big. I think most nights I sit there going through, well, what if this happened? Then this would happen, but what would that cause? What would be the spiral effect of these things? I'm a big metaphor person, so I use them a little too frequently, I think. Some of them weirder than others, but definitely if you just think of now, you're not going to get the picture. It's like a movie. I can't remember what movie it was. They did one where they actually followed the actors for like 15 years. Wow. Do you remember that? So they watched the son like grow up. They watched the parents get older, stuff like that. But it took a long time. I never watched it, and I can't remember what it was called.
Is it like a documentary?
No.
Was it scripted?
It was an actual, film.
What?
And I was like, that is so neat, right? But it just, like, taking that and just even condensing it without doing it for 15 years. You can't just look right now. Like, it's like, okay, I'm making this character. Well, how did they grow up? why do they have this personality? Like what made them this way, and what trajectory are they most likely to go on in the future, right? Because everyone says like, oh, we have a path. I don't think so. I think it's more like a highway. There's a lot of exits, but they're not taking you to nowhere. Like, they're just taking you down a different route. And if you want to get back on, you can make that decision. But I mean, it's a big world to explore, and like every person has a lot that they can do. You can do anything, especially these days. You can do anything that you want, right? You just need the means to do it. And like, there's just so many pathways to explore. You might as well.
Do you ever get overwhelmed that there are so many paths you can go on, and you only got so much time, you got to pick the right one?
I think you can make any path the right one. I think you just have to be open. Like, I don't think, if I ended up not doing much in the industry, I was like, oh, I'll just stay in a small town, just be here, get a home with another dog or something like that. I can make a life out of that. Like, that's not the worst thing in the world. Yeah. I'm not on the street. I'm not completely broke to where I can't do anything or have a home. I have animals. I have people around, and you make a life based on that. You can't beat on yourself and be so disappointed when it's life. And like, there's always things that you're going to want to do. It would be heartbreaking if I never got to do what I wanted in the industry, but at the same time, I'm not going to hate myself the rest of my life for it. And I know that every path has something to offer that you can make worth it, right? Like, there's so many options. Yeah.
And you won't know also if you don't try any of the other options.
Exactly.
Yeah. Did you have, like, what am I trying to say? Like, before you decided to commit and be like, filmmaking is your goal at the moment, was there anything else that kind of also spoke to a similar volume?
So I think I'll start from way, way back.
Okay.
I think I was probably 7.
Okay.
And this was around the time that my dad was like, hey, I'm going to take you on a shopping spree for your birthday. We have $350. Let's go do that. So I was like, yes. Can we go to Zellers? I think it was Zellers at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And
Rest in peace, Zellers.
Yeah. Oh, that was the best place.
It was,
Their $5 movie rack was great.
Oh
my God.
So that was what we went and did. And I got a movie stand, a comfy chair, and I filled the whole rack with $2 and $5 movies. Some of them were $1, so that was a good thing. Yeah. Or you could get like 6 in a bundle for $5. It was great. And I would sit there and watch and watch and watch. And I think a lot of people were like, what is she doing? But my dad said something to me really important. I was sitting at our really old, big, chunky computer in the downstairs room. He came up to me and he goes, because he knew there was one actor I really, really liked at that time because of a movie. And he goes, if you can write a film script for me and make it one day, I will get John Cusack in your film. Wow. And I held him to that, and I still put it on him. I'm like, so where's John Cusack?
Wow.
I did a film, right? And then you get older, you're like, oh, I need something realistic. What do? I applied to college 3 years in a row and got into every school I applied to all 3 years for social services to be a case manager. Because I'm like, well, this is the right thing to do. I can keep kids safe. I can make sure they're in a good place, blah, 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 right? Which is great for a lot of people. For me, I was like, oh my God, how am I going to spend 35 years doing this? And I thought, I'm like, this is a good thing. I could maybe do it. It'll be a bit exciting. But the more I thought about it and the closer I got to it, I couldn't fathom that I would be doing that the rest of my life. And I pulled out a week before each time. And I said, this isn't for me. And then I thought about it, and it was mentioned to me again. Well, I think you could do well in film. So I was going to go to film school. That was too expensive, so I didn't do that. And then it's one of those things where I'm like, am I just going to be walking around saying I want to be a filmmaker the rest of my life, and I've never done anything with it? Like, just never worked on a film set, never known anyone in film, just saying that that's what I want to do.
Right.
I'm just going to be...
But nothing to back it up.
Yeah, am I just going to work at a till the rest of my life saying, oh yeah, I'll be a filmmaker, and I've never done anything? So I think film was always the goal, even when I didn't know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really seems like it.
Yeah, things change and you forget in certain years, right? You're naive as a teenager and you don't think about that shit no matter how much your teachers ask you. You don't take it serious. You don't think about it, right? Some people are different and they know then that that's what they want to do. I didn't, though. I kind of lost that for quite a few years, and then it was like it just hit me in the face. I was like, oh yeah, that's what I'm supposed to be doing, right?
Right.
So that would be, yeah, I think it's been the only consistent thing throughout my life.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. No, that's good.
I have a random next question. You, if you feel comfortable talking about it, you talked about, like, to me personally and Logan, about having issues sleeping. During times where you couldn't sleep, did you come up with any films or write anything from?
So
Interesting question.
yeah, it's definitely a good time because you already have a lot of ideas when you can't sleep. It's one of those where you lay there, try to sleep, and then you're like, oh, I gotta write that down, and you grab your phone, and then the LED light makes you not sleep even worse, and
The blue light.
it just like keeps going, right? So definitely, I think a few of the shots for the film I just did were thought of half asleep, 4 a.m. in bed, and just couldn't really get through the night kind of thing.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, but I prioritize sleep at this point where I'm like, I need at least 5-6 hours and I can function well.
Okay.
Any less than that, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
More than that, I'm happy, right? So I use it to my advantage when I really can't sleep. Insomnia is not a fun thing, but it gives you a lot to play off of, I'd say. Yeah. More time for ideas.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was curious. So
Like sleep deprived hallucination monsters. Like,
Yeah.
I gotta get him in.
yeah, especially
That's the
when
one.
especially when you got to the hallucinating part, I was curious. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of clocks melting in front of you. That was the
Interesting.
main thing for me, I think. Was
Okay.
clocks and trees, the time. 5 days without sleep was not on my bucket list.
Yeah.
But it happened. And I mean, it's definitely, I think it was more of less the experience of it, more of the feeling of going through it is what I would put into a film
Okay.
kind of thing. Just that, and not even just the feeling of the character, the feeling of the entire film. It's a very like paranoid, confused, sometimes really bright and colorful, sometimes really dark feeling. So it's like very drastic differences kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have a film idea based on that experience?
I do.
Yeah. I can't wait to
Okay.
hear more about
Yeah.
it.
That's the next one.
Yeah.
That's
It is
awesome.
probably.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad I asked that question then.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see if I have.
I'm gonna break out one of the big ones.
Well, I kind of wanted to go in like order of what we're talking about, but I kind of just have ones that are different themes, I guess. I'm curious if you feel comfortable how your grandma influences you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it was 3 or 4 days before we started shooting Even After Life on our first day. And I went to pick up my dog, who was spending some time with his cousin at my parents' house.
Cousin?
Yeah, their dog. His cousin brother.
Aw, yeah.
And
Love
yeah. So I went to pick him up, and my parents were like, hey, we need to talk to you guys right now. And I was like, oh, fuck, what happened, right? Because you always know it's bad when they got to sit and they're sitting close. So I'm like, oh, shit. So I ended up getting news that my grandmother who's not, even though she's my grandmother, she is not very old. So she was diagnosed with stage 3 turning into stage 4 lung and esophageal cancer, and it had moved into her glands, which wasn't great. So getting that news a few days prior to shooting was a very surreal moment, and it kind of put me into gear in the sense of it's my mom's mother, and my dad's mother passed away, and that was why we ended up moving into the Ottawa area. Was we were living in the house that she had bought, and it was paid off, but we had to sell just after she passed. She had dementia, and it progressed it during COVID, and so she passed away in 2 weeks instead of a few years. And at that point, I was like, fuck. She didn't get to see shit. She didn't get to know what I was gonna do. I didn't get to show her anything. She was just there for the, oh, sorry, I pulled out of college. Oh, sorry, I don't know what I'm doing with my life, right? And she came here from a different country. So she was work, and just the kindest soul ever. So after that, and then my mom's mother, when I got that news about her, I was like, okay, here's the chance. I have time. This isn't immediate. I have time right now.
Yeah.
We need to get into gear for this. Like, we need to fucking kill it. Because if I'm going to show her something and there's a chance she might not be here after, this needs to be good. And this is my ode to her. So we did add something, a little part into the film to kind of gear towards her. Because I think both of us we're not perfect people. We definitely don't live a perfect life, but we're not bad people, right? And so that's kind of the base of even after life is what makes you good or bad. And in my head, I was like, anything to her that I've done will comfort her. Whether it's a story she likes or she doesn't like, it's from me, and it'll mean something. So I definitely wanted to give her like hey, this is what I can do, and it's okay if you can't stick around the entire time for it, but it's happening, right? Like, don't worry, I'm good. I'll take care of all of them. Just, we're fine, right? Just something to show and be like, hey, I am somebody. Yeah. We're good, right? So I think that was the main part of it, was just, it really kicked me into gear. So I didn't let myself really take it in probably until about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And then it was like, okay, now it's time to feel it. Right? I couldn't feel it at the moment, but I could make it motivate me. Yeah. And now it's time to really feel it and go through the emotions. But she is a fucking warrior, I'll tell you that. Aww. Yeah. She does not give up easy. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Had that wake up call not happened, do you think relating it to even after life, do you think the product would have been different? Even if it was only a couple of days before we shot. It sounds like it was very influential in the direction that it went.
I do think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a numbing moment. So at that point, I wasn't scared to be hated. I wasn't scared to, come off in a certain way at all. It was like, listen, this is what we're doing. This is how we're doing it. Let's work together. But if not, this is still how it's going. So let's get through it. Let's make it as happy as possible for everyone on set and take care of everyone. But at the end of the day, this is what we need, right? And just like, it's business but care. And I was ready to fight through minus 25 degree weather, cold grocery stores, and lots of location change. So that really gave me we're not doing this. Like, we're doing this. I don't care if any disaster happens, we're going through it. Like, that's it. We'll go through it, end up on the other side, and we're going to do it anyways. This is not going to be something we don't finish. We're finishing it. And we're going to make it be seen. And like, that's the end of the story. Yeah.
You will make it out no matter what.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Are there other areas of your life where the mentality still applies?
I think most parts of my life is, why would you give up? Do you know what I mean? On anything. Just get through it. Like it sucks. I get it. It sucks for everybody.
Yeah.
But just go. Like what's the alternative? Right? To not be here at all? What fun is that? You don't get to see anything that comes. Like the most curious part about reading, the best part about reading a book is the curiosity on what's on the next page. Even if it's bad, even if it's not the greatest part of the story, you still want to see it. And so that's what I want. And I just want, I'm very eager to see all of it.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, let's speed it up. Let's keep going. But I'm trying to slow down just so I can savor the moments. But it's definitely, I use it in all aspects. Like no one likes to go to work, especially when it's a regular job. Fortunately, I really do like my job. But there's still days where I'm like, holy shit, do I have to get up and do this? Do I have to do this order day or go on and put this order together and make sure I have all these things in it? I don't. Some of the time, I'd really rather be working on something else, but just get through it because there's days that I wouldn't leave there for the world, right? So it's just, fuck it, just go.
It's really that balancing act.
Exactly.
That's what life is a game of balance. You know, when do you push the gas and when do you let off?
Yeah.
You know,
there's always going to be shitty aspects of life. There's always going to be stupid stuff, disasters, sad moments. Pay attention to the good ones. Those are the only things that make life. It's the only ones that matter. The bad things will always happen. But if you can keep your eyes set and your mind set on the good things that haven't happened yet, or even the ones that already did happen to get through now, that's what matters. It really is. Yeah.
I want to tie back to when you said the alternative of not doing what it is you want to do. And I remember I read a while ago that the human brain doesn't seek happiness. It seeks comfort. So being stuck in that comfort zone, like, it's really like a prison, I guess. When you said, just go and just do it. Like, what's the alternative? What's the other outcome? People are scared of doing that because you have to be uncomfortable and vulnerable with whatever it is. Like when you say you don't want to go to work, what would be more comforting to you? Just staying at home and like chilling in bed, right?
I would honestly, I'm a busy person.
Yeah.
I would probably be running around like crazy, just not doing that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I'm, even if I'm not working on a film and say I have 2 days off from regular work, I'm barely at home. Like I'm at home to walk my dog and make sure he's good. But I'm going around making sure we have everything that we need. Oh, okay, I'm driving my sister here. Okay, I'm going to go spend some time with my parents. We're going to go clean up the front yard. We're going to go clean the car. Let's go, all these different things. I'm very much a person that, and like everyone depresses, right? Whether it's the end of the day or just when they're really low. I don't find it as a bad thing for me much anymore. But I'm definitely the type of person that if I sit still too long, then I really sink into myself. And the longer I sink in, the harder it is to get out. So I'm always doing something. I like to paint, so I'll paint if there really is nothing else to do. So that's a great way. I'll write just small things on my phone, not even films. I like to put little videos together that I don't end up posting. Just just like dumb little things, right? I like to try different things. So
I don't think it's dumb though.
No, it's
Even
cute.
if it
I love
doesn't
the
go
videos I've
anywhere, it's still part of the process.
some of them are a little odd, but for some reason like they're pleasing to my brain, and I'm like, oh fuck it, just put it there, and then that's it. There's a lot unposted, but they're just, they're a neat way of. There's a thing in the studio, and he like calls his therapist and leaves a voicemail. It's a way of like getting it out. That's how I see it, is getting it out, but it doesn't need to be seen. It's just there, right? So that's kind of...
It's not just like floating around anymore. It's in the real world.
I've put it somewhere, and now it's not in here. It's wherever it is, and I don't have to deal with it every second of the day anymore. So,
what was your favorite project you worked on, like that wasn't yours?
Good question.
And why?
Oh man. I would have to say it's my first one.
Okay.
I thought that was, I was unsure when I was going and on the drive there, because I had a good 4.5 hours to think about it.
Yep.
And I'm like, what is this gonna be? Like, how, just a kid's sex ed show, right? Like, what's gonna go on?
Yeah.
These kids were so smart. I have never heard kids that old ask these questions, and the hosts just like insanely good with their answers and that. Just the thinking of, I won't get into it because it is a bit controversial in certain ways to some people, but some of the questions that, like, if you asked it in school, your teacher would have no idea what they're talking about. They would just be like, I don't know, Google it. And like, just, I don't know,
Was
right?
was it a scripted show? Like, were the questions scripted or?
So I believe it was slightly, like nothing that was like, you have to say this, you have to say this. I think the most scripted things were maybe just little add-ins kind of stuff in that. But it was like, it was called Everybody Curious. And it was just such a neat concept to let these kids like go through these things as they're going into this age group of certain things are going to start wanting to be done, right? And what is the, you know, what are the decisions you should be making and what are you making them based on? What is your knowledge, right? And just being open to all of it, I think it was a really neat process to see, and it was a great crew. Nice. Yeah, I would say a wonderful crew.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a very important.
Yeah, very important.
To talk about, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
How big was the crew, if you don't mind me asking? Because for a first, like, set experience, it sounds like you, like, blew it out of the park.
So it was Shaftesbury Kids. So it was a pretty good set. Okay. I think there were, oh my God. There was a DOP and 2 other cameras. The producer and director were there. Me and another PA, production designer, I think 2 or 3 sound. We had a paramedic on site, catering. I don't know, altogether I would say maybe 17.
Okay, wow.
I'm thinking, throughout the day. And as days changed, you know, a couple more people here, less people there. So I would say it was a pretty fair set.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, it was really nice. We had like one area where they did their hero shots. We had another like sit down talk show style area, and then we had a kitchen as well that we moved them into to make their own pizzas, and they could make it however they wanted, but they had to take a bite of it in the end. And to me it was kind of like, you can make your own decision, but you have to be willing to deal with it after, right?
Practicing
that was
what
kind
you
of
preach almost.
Yeah, and like if you don't like their pizza, that's fine. You don't have to eat it. You have to eat yours. So don't judge theirs. They have to eat theirs. That's up to them, kind of thing.
A lot of metaphors in there.
Yeah, exactly.
What you love,
exactly.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things where I was like, wow.
Was that pizza thing a part of the show, or that's just like, oh?
Yeah, it was part of the show. They moved in the kitchen. They could do sweet or savory or normal pizza ingredients or, you know, chocolate and stuff like that.
I was wondering
that's
how
cool.
they kind of conveyed the messages that they did.
Yeah.
That's a really interesting way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
Just do a
topic
pizza.
at the time was choice and that.
Yeah.
So that really played into it. I think that was like the scripting of it, of like, okay, this is where we're moving to this conversation because it fits, right? So that was, I think, the only scripting that was with it, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Wow.
I could be slightly wrong, but
That's really cool though.
Yeah.
For first, your favorite.
yeah.
What was your biggest takeaway from it, having now directed your own film? Like, from that specific show? You know what I mean? Like, what stuck?
I liked the kids weren't directed a lot. They weren't told, okay, no, do it more like this. Okay, no, do it more like that. And it was beautiful to watch. They were just unique, just so normally, like, just unique in their own body. And I think that was something that I took in. I was like, I have a certain way that I see this. I'm open though. So let me see how you can do it. And if I like it, that's fine. Let's just go with that. If it's something where I'm like, okay, maybe just a little bit more like this, I'll say something. I just let the actors do what they felt the characters would do. And that's pretty much the entire film. As I didn't have to push them. And the times that I did, it didn't go as well. And like they really brought the character to set. And I think that's important because I can see what I can see, but I can't make you do what I see all the time, right?
Exactly.
You have to have your own style of this character, and we're going to work with it, right? So, yeah.
Cool. And you're happy with the cast you had for Even After Life? We'll talk about that.
Oh yeah, we got lots to say.
Extremely happy. Extremely happy. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
Rachel, do you have anything else?
I think a final question is your top 3 either films or shows you've watched lately.
Okay. Number 1 will always be John Carpenter's Halloween, 1978.
Nice.
Always.
Okay.
Just such a staple, for me at least. I mean, I'm one of those old school. I like Nightmare on Elm Street. That's always going to be one of my top things. I'm a little nerdy when it comes to those old 70s, 80s horrors.
You like The Thing?
Yeah, someone tried to compare me to a Disney adult the other day because I have 2 80s horror figurines that are like worth like $160 each. I'm like, that is not the same thing as a Mickey Mouse shirt. It's not. They're cool. Okay,
Yeah.
this is the right way to do it, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would say Halloween would be number 1. I'm trying to think of a TV show. I want to add one of those in there.
Would it be The Studio?
The Studio
Or
is
Severance?
really great. I haven't seen Severance yet.
Okay, me either.
Yeah? Okay.
We had, yeah. We were saying
I've seen
yesterday.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
Incredible.
Oh, you have seen it?
I've seen
Oh,
it. Yeah.
sorry.
I don't want to spoil anything.
You told me that yesterday, sorry.
The Studio was really good. Have you seen that one?
No, I haven't.
Oh my
The
God.
Studio.
They're like, it's all oneers. So it's so chaotic that you're like, oh my God, that's what it feels like when you're just trying to go quick. You're just like, okay, I'm here. Oh my God, okay, I'm here. What do you need? Okay, I need to be there in 5 minutes. Get me there. You're just all over the place. That's the kind of the feel they gave when they shot it.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's
Is
a
it
really good
I'm
one.
assuming it's about a film studio?
It's about the industry with, so it's Seth Rogen.
Okay. I haven't
Yeah.
heard of this.
Oh, you gotta watch
Yeah?
it. Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I think it's one of those ones you can binge it too easily. You just keep going with it. My
Right.
favorite one is The Missing Reel. I think that's my favorite episode so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Olivia Wilde was in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's it on? Streaming? Like
Apple.
Apple TV? Okay.
It's a good one though. I would give it. I got 3 free months off of my PC app just so I could watch it.
Just so you can watch it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, Severance is on Apple too, right?
Yeah, and I have it saved to get into. I've just lack of time and attention
Fair.
span by the evening.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah,
like-
valid.
I've been watching Ted Lasso.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one. No?
No, I haven't seen it either.
Oh no, it's so good. I just got to like a big episode, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know, TV show wise, Shameless was a big thing for me. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, I get what's going on here, and I can connect to that. One that I want to say I think is going to be my favorite that I have been very reluctant to watch the last probably 10 years is the Requiem for a Dream.
Okay. That's
That's
on
a-
my list. I
Yeah,
haven't seen it either.
it's a big one. I think it's going to be one of those ones where I'm like, oh, okay.
What about it speaks to you that much?
The way that the acting in it was just, from what I've seen, I've kept myself completely secluded from knowledge of the film. Every time someone goes to tell me about it, I'm like, no, I don't want to know. I need to watch it when it's just like, I get a feeling of like, okay, it's time for this film. And then I watch it and I'm like, okay, yeah, I knew that it was time for that one. So I have no knowledge about it. I've seen certain clips from the actors. Wow. Just like, that's the best I could say to describe it, is wow.
Yes, wow.
Yeah. It like just real, like very realistic, and like, holy shit, that's crazy. It's something that you're just going to sit there with your jaw dropped the entire film. And I'm a movie talker, and I would not talk during that one, I don't think.
No?
No.
Okay.
So I think that'll be in placement soon.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, I definitely got to check those out too. Yeah.
We should create off topic, a letterbox of recommendations from the pod.
from Indied guests.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
That'd be really neat.
Just putting that out there.
Yeah. Kind of curate a list.
Yeah.
You get so many different ones,
That's
right?
true.
From all the different people coming on and what they like. You
Yeah.
get so many different suggestions.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Because we typically ask that too.
Yeah.
So everyone's going to mention it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Okay.
I was just
It's been about
gonna.
an hour.
Okay, I was just gonna ask, or like final one, like any advice you'd give to people in the industry, either trying to get into the industry, trying to make their own work.
Oh man, if someone gives you an inch, take a mile. If you get a little bit of an in to the industry, like if you have not done anything yet, it's just like it was for me a few years ago, a dream of like, I want to do this one day. And someone's like, hey, come on to set. It's yes, right away. Make the time for it. Go all in. Talk to as many people as you can and just show them that you're willing to do the work. Like don't think about how many hours you're going for. Just think of what it might be in a couple years if you do this now, right?
Okay.
Just don't give up on yourself, honestly. And I think that goes for anything, not just the industry. You're worth more than you think you are. I think most times. Yeah, so just keep going, right? Make the best of it.
I love that. I love that.
No, I love that a lot, dude.
Yeah.
Look. Look right.
Me too, man. Me
There were a few
too.
times you got a little red. I'm like, oh no, am I going to make you cry?
It's hitting deep.
You and I both will be crying.
Motivational speaker over here.
I know. I love it.
Side gig.
I love it.
Should write a book.
Yeah.
Thought about it. I don't think so.
I'll read it.
You wanna
It
be able
wouldn't
to
end up
see-
being one of those books.
Fair enough.
I don't have the attention span to write 400 pages, I don't think.
God.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
What about reading? Do you read?
On and off. Not as much as I should, in all honesty. Yeah.
Yeah. I got into audiobooks recently because I drive a lot for work. So I'm
There
just
we
like,
go.
audiobooks.
Nice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like I'm tapped into like a sixth sense. You know what I mean?
I'm a big podcast person, and I always hear people in the industry, they're like, oh yeah, I drive and I listen to this filmmaking podcast. I'm like, fuck, I just listened to Tom Segura. Like, what am I doing, right? Like,
That's no.
but I like the comedic relief.
Yeah.
So,
Of a podcast?
Yeah.
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 So I like those out there, Theo Vaughn, Tom
Oh my god, I
Segura,
love
Joe
Theo
Rogan.
Vaughn, dude.
Just
I
so
love Theo.
He's so good.
naturally,
Yeah.
I don't know
He's
how to
great.
describe him.
He's
Yeah,
really
he's
great.
how long has he been podcasting for? So long.
I think so. He was on I didn't even know
He's
he
also a
was,
comedian first.
He was on an MTV show back
Really?
in
Yeah.
like,
Oh, what's
I
it
think it was the late 90s or early 2000s, wasn't
I've
it?
seen clips from it. I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, he was the same person. And I'm like, what the fuck? This
Yeah.
is just who you are.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
this isn't even like a comedic act. Like, this is,
No, this is just
you.
him.
Yeah, and that's the
crazy.
funny part of you like, oh no.
Yeah.
This shit he says is just so out of pocket. It's
No, it
crazy.
is.
Yeah.
The guest will be speaking and he'll whip out the most outlandish question out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I gotta like pause and stop my car and be like, huh? Yeah.
Stop the car.
Yeah. I tried working out listening to Theo Vaughn once and it was
Oh,
like,
no.
How the hell?
I stopped because I was like, you know what I mean? It's
I would have
too
like
funny.
burst out
Yeah.
laughing and accidentally dropped the weight.
That's lit-
Yeah,
that
you got
literally
like
happened to me.
150
Like-
over your head and you just crack out laughing.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. That's it. And now you're on a podcast.
Cheers.
There we go.
Full circle.
There we go.
Yeah.
No, it's great you guys are doing this. It was a great idea.
Thank
honestly.
you.
I
Yeah.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah, I was really excited when Rachel asked me to come on.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh my
It's one of
God,
those
so
moments
cool.
you're like, holy fuck, I never thought I'd do anything. Like what am I doing, right? It's great.
You
Yeah.
deserve it.
I'm glad you
Yeah.
had such a good time.
Yeah, I'm
Just
glad
telling
you
people
did.
at work, I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna be on a podcast.
Oh,
I need the day off.
Sorry, I'm booked and busy.
I'm booked and busy. Yeah.
Talk to my like agent when,
Yeah.
when you need a contact. You know what I mean? Receptionist.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Anyway.
Well,
Thank you
thank
so
you
much for
for
coming
coming
on.
on.
For your first episode.
Anytime.
Yeah, first episode. Get ready for another one of us breaking down Even Afterlife,
Afterlife.
August directorial debut.
Which is coming out
From-
after this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, we're gonna break it down with the DOP and director
Yeah.
from start to finish.
One and only.
One and only. So
How do you
get
pronounce it again?
excited.
August
Alves
Alves.
or Alves.
Alves.
Yeah,
Alves.
some people say Alves, some people
Alves.
say Elvis. I'm like it's like a mix. Alves.
Alves.
Yeah.
Elvis.
Alves.
Portuguese.
Cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. I thought it was Alves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know,
So
my
now I
bad.
know.
Yeah, I said that for that. It's like a
I'm
challenge.
like, that's okay. I've heard worse.
I've heard worse.
Oh yeah, you're like, I nominate August Alves. I'm like, yeah, I don't say anything.
I've had people spell my first name wrong. So
Spell
it's
August wrong?
August, Augest. Or just forget the U, Agust.
August.
Yeah, I'm like,
August.
it's a month. Like,
Do you not see it
we're
every
in
time
grade
you look
11.
at the calendar?
Yeah, it's a month. We're in August right now. I thought it was different.
It's okay. They're a little slower. It's fine.
Yeah,
They're a little behind.
I think a teacher did it once.
Really?
Oh,
Okay, that's
God.
too much.
And I'm like, I don't know if you should be working here.
I don't know if you should
Yeah.
be teaching me all these important things if you can't spell a month.
Oh man. Yeah.
Anyway,
Good days.
good day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for tuning in
Yeah.
to Indied Filmmakers.
Yeah. Get ready for the next.
Exactly.
Later days, guys.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Cut. Get out of it, okay?